right, now that we've had a moment for things to pull through, just a reminder I switched the channel to bebrand.com. We're looking at February 2025 and at that one night stay. So we do see some LOS2s on here, and I know you might think, hey, we said that's not available on brand.com currently. But this is because the system has detected that there was a restriction on booking.com and that brand.com rates for the date were also sold out. So it made the assumption that it also must be a restriction in place for brand.com, just like it is on booking.com. Since there are 2 night stays available, presumably there are on brand.com as well. Let's take a peek at the graph view here. You're going to have all the same data. If we hover over a particular date, for example, here we can see the same view we saw on the other page. Everything's just represented a little differently. One thing to note is there's this little grade deviation in the background. This indicates weekends. On this rate spread graph, if we take a peek down at the bottom, we can see what we're looking at. But these bars right here are going to be the market demand. We're still looking forward in February. You'll see beyond 90 days out, market demand disappears. And that's expected behavior in case you get that question from a team member. Let's go back to the current month view. And same, we'll see market demand will only appear from December 10th, which is today when I'm recording, and beyond, not showing historic market demand data. We can also turn on or turn off the different lines as desired. I'm going to turn them all on for the moment. So right now I've got my primary comp set, same filters as before. Let's actually switch it to booking.com. It'll take a moment to update. And so here's the market demand. We can see in the past it disappeared. I do want to mention that as we can see here, the green line is our median comp rate. And the orange field is going to be the average rate plus or minus 1 standard deviation. And also note that by average rate, we mean the average concept rate and not the average rate of the hotel itself. You can also toggle the competitors' rates on and off according to what you'd like to look at. So if you just want to look at median comp rate versus you can. You can look at one other competitor. As we tone it down a little bit, got 3 here. Just want to point out these X's. So the X actually indicates that this is sold out, at least for these filters, right? It could be a length of stay restriction, as we talked about earlier, especially more than 3 nights. That said, we can see right here, if I hover over purple, that's Best Western in this case, I can see it's sold out. Same thing if I hover over this particular Wyndham property here, we can see it says rate sold out, along with the other 2 locations, Holiday Inn and Best Western as well. And just a note on this page that I can also refresh rates manually. So you'll see this was updated 10 minutes ago, as we know from the last page, but I can refresh rates here, live shop. And same things when I hover, we can still see the OTB, the market demand, change versus yesterday, and median comp rate actually in a hover over for each date. Next, we're going to look at the table view. So let's take a peek. So the table view is probably where you're going to spend most of your time when troubleshooting, or at least it's what we recommend. It's definitely where customer care spends most of the time when we are troubleshooting for a customer for rate insight. What's nice about this page is that it provides a great overview of the competitor rates. We can see over here on the right, your rates indicated here, the market demand, notice it's just from today, December 10th onward through the next 90 days. And you can also see hotels, days of the week, all in one place. So it's very useful for troubleshooting for sure. Also, if I click on a particular rate, it's going to show me as I hover over where exactly that rate is being pulled from, what it represents. If I click on it, it's going to take me to the exact location, in this case on booking.com, which is my filter, that this rate was found. So if you are doing validation of the rate shopping, literally can click on it here. Can even take a peek first, see where something's pulling from, and then go there. This particular account does have their on the books data synced up. So as you can see, it's integrated, it's pulling here. If we were to look at that account that doesn't have it, it'll look a little different. It'll just be blank here. Just want to show that difference. And then as you look on this page, it's also the only type of tab where you're able to use the compare feature. So I know we touched on this a little bit earlier, but if you want to compare different types of rate tabs, rate types for both your hotel and then also the competitors, this is a great place to go. So you can do, length of stay, 2 nights versus 1 night, etc. We can also set things up from the main page as you saw versus same week last year, 14 days ago, 7 days ago, or even yesterday. So if someone is mentioning that something has majorly changed yesterday, you can also recreate that from this page by using that compare setting. So one additional thing is we can also gather some more information on the customer care side from the back end, involving like the different taxes that are happening for this particular rate shop, etc., that are being included. So if you do have questions about that, you can reach out to us, forward that question on. That would be something we'd be happy to take a peek into on the back end for you. So one more thing is that there is the My Hotels and the multi-property view. So if someone does have access to a portfolio, they'll see this My Hotels option. They can open it up. And it's a great view for someone who has a lot of hotels, and they can see the array types per day or date of the week using the filter, top of the property. They can also expand the fields to see competitor rates for certain properties. But just note, with so many hotels on that My Hotels view, we currently aren't able to do a live rate shop. So it'll go through once a day per the rate shop schedule that's set up. So you may get questions about that. That is not alterable at this point just because of the number of hotels and the quantity of data on the My Hotels view. If at any point someone's on the My Hotels view and they want to switch back, they can click up here, search their hotel, go back to it, or even from My Hotels, click on the hotel's name and it'll direct them right back to this page. I didn't mention too much, but just as on the calendar page, on each page, I do have the option to export. I can export the next 60 days, 365, select a month, custom, schedule reports. And that right here is the Rates Insight Rates tab or Rates module.